Your gut. Most people think it's a dumb food pipe, the body's plumbing. Blame it for bloating, ignore it until it hurts. But your gut is one of the most sophisticated organs you own. It has its own nervous system with hundreds of millions of neurons, it runs most of your immune system, it makes most of your serotonin, and it hosts a microscopic ecosystem that weighs as much as your brain. When something goes wrong there, it shows up everywhere else: your skin, your mood, your energy. This is how your gut actually works. And once you see it, you'll never treat your digestion like a side note again. It's one continuous tube, roughly 9 meters long, running from your mouth to the other end. But it's not a straight pipe. It's folded, coiled, and lined with custom machinery. The stomach churns and acid baths your food. The small intestine, about 7 meters of it, is where almost all the real work happens. This is where nutrients leave your food and enter your blood. The large intestine finishes the job, reclaims water, and hosts most of your microbiome. Every layer is doing a different job, and it all runs without you thinking about it. You're never really eating for yourself. You're eating for the entire system. The reason your gut can run itself is that it has its own brain. It's called the enteric nervous system, and it contains about 500 million neurons, more than your spinal cord. It's a lattice of nerves woven through the walls of your digestive tract. It coordinates the waves that push food along, the release of acids and enzymes, and how fast the assembly line moves. You could remove this nervous system from the brain's control entirely, and your gut would still digest food on its own. That's why scientists call it the second brain. It's the only part of your body that can operate independently of your head. So how do the two brains talk? Through the vagus nerve, the body's superhighway between head and gut. Here's the part people get backwards. Almost 90% of the signals traveling on that highway are going from the gut up to the brain, not the other way around. Your gut sends the reports, how full you are, what you absorbed, what your microbes are doing, and your brain listens. Your mood, your cravings, your stress response are all shaped by those reports. And when your gut is inflamed or stressed, it changes the messages. We covered stress in an earlier video. Chronic stress literally changes what your gut reports to your brain. Inside that tube lives an ecosystem. Around 100 trillion microbes, bacteria, fungi, and viruses, collectively weighing about 2 kilograms, more cells than you have in your own body. For the longest time, we treated them as passengers. We now know they are more like a second organ. They digest things you can't, especially fiber, and turn it into fuel your body actually uses. They train your immune system, make vitamins, and produce chemicals that reach your brain. Your microbes are as individual as a fingerprint. No two people carry the same mix, and your mix changes with what you eat, how you sleep, and how stressed you are. Now let's watch a meal move through. It starts in your mouth, where chewing breaks food into pieces and enzymes begin digesting carbohydrates. It hits your stomach, a muscular pouch that churns it into a paste and drowns it in acid strong enough to kill most microbes. Then it enters the small intestine in controlled squirts. This is the assembly line, and it's where digestion is finished and absorption begins. Bile from your liver, enzymes from your pancreas. The food is broken down into molecules small enough to pass through the gut wall. From first bite to the end of the line takes anywhere from 24 to 72 hours. The small intestine's inner wall isn't smooth. It's folded, and the folds are covered in millions of finger-like projections called villi, and each villus is covered in even tinier projections called microvilli. All that folding multiplies the surface area into something like a tennis court, packed into a tube that fits inside your abdomen. This is why you can absorb so much. Every nutrient has to cross a barrier that's only 1 cell thick. That thin border between the outside world and your bloodstream is one of the most important surfaces in your body. And one of the gut's biggest jobs is deciding what gets to cross it. Because that border faces the outside world, food, water, microbes, your gut carries the largest share of your immune system. Around 70% of your immune cells live there, in patches of tissue woven into the gut wall. They are on constant patrol, tolerating food, tolerating helpful microbes, and attacking things that shouldn't be there. This is why gut health and immunity are so tightly linked. People with a disrupted gut often feel it in their defenses: more colds, slower recovery, more allergies. Your gut isn't just where you absorb food. It's your body's biggest checkpoint with the outside world. So what feeds this entire system? The answer is boring and powerful: fiber. Fiber is the part of plants your body can't digest, but your microbes can. They ferment it and turn it into short-chain fatty acids, fuel that feeds your gut wall, calms inflammation, and sends signals that improve your metabolism. The problem: most people eat about half the fiber they need. Instead, they feed a different ecosystem, the one that thrives on ultra-processed, low-fiber food. Every meal is a vote. When you eat diverse plants, you grow a diverse, resilient microbiome. When you don't, your inner farm shrinks. But there's a catch. The ecosystem is fragile in ways we didn't expect. Antibiotics, life-saving, and also a fire hose wipe out large parts of the microbiome at once. Ultra-processed food, chronic stress, and poor sleep all shift the balance toward the microbes that thrive on inflammation. And because your microbes talk to your brain, a damaged ecosystem shows up in mood and energy, not just digestion. The good news: the system is surprisingly resilient. Give it the right inputs, and it rebuilds faster in some people, slower in others, but it rebuilds. Which means most of what damages it is something you can actually change. Here's the boring toolkit, and it works. Eat a variety of plants, different colors, different types, because different microbes eat different things. Add fermented foods, yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, which carry live microbes into your system. Protect your sleep, because your microbes follow a daily rhythm and disruption hits them hard. Manage stress: the vagus highway runs both ways, and chronic stress changes the gut itself. And use antibiotics only when you truly need them. None of this is glamorous. No app, no powder, no supplement can do what a diverse diet does. The toolkit was never secret. It was just never profitable. So here's the reframe. Your gut is not plumbing. It's a second brain with an immune army and an ecosystem. The closest thing your body has to a partner in how you feel every day. When you feed it well, it feeds you back. Clearer energy, steadier mood, stronger defenses. This is the thread running through everything in this series: sleep, stress, the way your body stores energy, and now the gut. They're not separate. They're one system talking to itself. Feed the system, protect the system, and the system takes care of you. If this changed how you think about your body, share it with someone who lives on antacids and energy drinks. And subscribe. The series is called How It Works, and there's still a lot of body to cover. Thanks for watching.